at the 5-yard line, but O'Neal would go down in history. The rookie who played punter and wide receiver at the time for the New York Jets. And at the time, he didn't think it was a big deal. They announced it over the sideline, but at that time, they didn't get the football back like they do now when different record-breaking things happen. He just wished now that, hey, I wish I would have had that ball so I could show my grandchildren. Like, yo, I was the guy that punted this ball 98 yards back in 1969. That's something that you want to brag about to your grandkids and your kids, especially after you retire. He would go on to play for the Jets for another 4 seasons before he would go on to New Orleans. And then that was probably one of his shining moments in his entire NFL career, as he would go on and still is on the record books for the longest punt in NFL history. Some history for you in regards to the NFL and what happened back in 1969 and who has the longest punt in NFL history. So with the trivia question of the day out the way, listen, y'all, we're getting to one of my favorite parts of the show. Turner's Top 5 Sports Moments of the Week. So let's get right into it. All right, number 5. We got number 5. Donovan Mitchell is now a superstar, y'all. Donovan Mitchell, he been getting some pointers from Dwayne Wade. And listen, this young brother, 23 years old, he's ready for the moment. He is so ready for this moment. Dropping 41 in Game 1 against the Clippers, 37 in Game 2. Dropped another 30 in Game number 3. This kid, he is ready to get the Utah Jazz to the NBA Finals. Donovan Mitchell has asserted himself as a superstar. Now, I don't agree with Stephen A. Smith and saying he's the greatest Utah Jazz ever. He's still got a lot of work to do to prove that to me. But listen, Donovan Mitchell is now a bona fide superstar. He comes in at number 5 on Turner's Top 5 Sports Moments of the Week. Number 4, Joel Embiid. He's a different breed. Joel Embiid is an entirely different breed. After finding out that he didn't win the MVP, he just dropped 40 on the Atlanta Hawks. And then he would go on to proceed to drop another 37. And then he would have a dominating performance in Game 3. Joel Embiid may not have won the MVP, but he's probably one of the most dominating forces in the NBA right now since Shaq. 7'3", can shoot it from the outside. One of the best free throw shooters in the NBA as a center. And Joel Embiid is showing us why he's going to be a force to be reckoned with for the coming years to come, as long as he stays healthy. Joel Embiid, different breed, comes in at number 4 on Turner's Top 5 Sports Moments of the Week. Number 3. The Phoenix Suns, they're shining in the Valley. Phoenix, listen, before the season started, the Suns, they were on the rise. They were like, hey, they went 8-0 inside the bubble. They still weren't able to make it into the playoffs. But listen, they came out this season with Monty Williams. And hey, we're going to get Chris Paul over here. They bring in Chris Paul, and wherever Chris Paul goes, that team is a lot better. You got New Orleans, you got the Clippers, you got OKC, you got Houston, and now you have the Phoenix Suns that are in the Western Conference Finals for the first time in 11 years, with Chris Paul being the point guard, Devin Booker scoring in his sleep, DeAndre Ayton holding down the paint, and Mikal Bridges doing everything that you could ask him for. And Phoenix is shining in the Valley. They have risen from the ashes. And now the Suns are blazing on their way to the Western Conference Finals. Phoenix comes in at number 3 on Turner's Top 5 Sports Moments of the Week. Number 2, Nikola Jokic wins the MVP First player to win the award being drafted in the second round. I mean, that's an admirable accomplishment for a guy that he has said on Inside the NBA, the pregame show, like, I didn't even expect to get to the NBA. I didn't even have the confidence that I even thought I could get to the NBA until a couple of seasons ago. And now, he's the NBA MVP. Now, last night, a lot of controversy in regards to how he left game number 4. But even still, his accomplishment of doing what he did all season long consistently for the Denver Nuggets, getting them to a number 3 spot in the Western Conference as well. Nikola Jokic, congratulations, my man. You're number 2 on Turner's top 5 sports moments of the week. But number 1, it's going to be a feel-good moment, all right? Number 1, Greg Olsen, formerly a tight end for the Carolina Panthers. His son was going through a lot of different heart problems over the last couple of weeks, and he finally was able to find someone that could give him a heart transplant. 8-year-old, I mean, I can only imagine as a parent and you know, just the emotions that go involved in something like that, and knowing that your son is in need of help, and finally getting and receiving the great news that you would like. And then the moment on Instagram where he told his siblings and they hugged it out. Oh my gosh, man. Something that pulls at your heartstrings, for real. Seriously. All right. Greg Olsen's son receiving a heart transplant. That's number 1, y'all. Number 1 on Turner's top 5 sports moments of the week. Yo, y'all come back. I'm going to get y'all mind right as always. We got the championship speech on the other side. So go ahead, get your pen, get your paper. Let's write down and jot down some notes. We got some goals to obtain this week, all right? On the other side, we got more of the Playbook Podcast. Welcome back inside the Playbook Podcast family. Once again, it's your chill brother from another. Mr. All About My Biz. And listen, y'all, I appreciate you guys riding out for yet another episode of the Playbook Podcast. And y'all love, y'all support. It has really been overwhelming. The different people that I've shared this with, and different people that have encouraged me, to push me to keep bringing this out each and every Monday for you guys, man. It's just, I didn't think that doing this back in February would bring me so much joy, would bring me so much, would reignite so much of my passion. I did this 6 years ago in sports radio, and I was so on fire. Things happened, life happened, and it took me away from it. But with the different things that we have now at our disposal with podcast platforms, so that you can do whatever you want to do and kind of make your own mark on the world instead of being confined to the same old in regards to radio and radio stations, etc. This has meant a lot to me. And I appreciate all of you guys pushing me and helping press and get this product out each and every week. Help us to expand our horizons, to bring the barbershop to your podcast. Go to Spreaker, Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcast, and like, share. Share this with your brother, your uncle, your niece, your nephew, whoever loves to hear about sports. Each and every week. I mean, we all got busy lives. We all got things in our lives, you know, and sometimes life gets hectic. So I just like to be that conduit of, hey, this is what happened in the world of sports throughout this week. Here's what you missed. So with all that said, I like to get you guys pumped and ready. And this track It's going to get you going. It's going to get you hyped. And listen, y'all, it's time for the championship speech. Yo, listen, y'all, with the championship speech this week, I just want to talk to you guys real quick about how we all can beat the odds. There are odds that are stacked against us before we were, even formed or even created. God already had different problems that were going to arise in our life, different situations that we were going to have to face, different struggles we were going to have, all the different insecurities that would be in our life before we were even formed. But even in spite of that, there was still a level of escape that we all could have if we chose the right door. There's an exit for all of us. There was a message that was preached by one of my good family last Sunday. And it was more about exiting different parts of your mindset so that you can get to the new. And leaving your old mindset so that you can really embrace the new doors that are going to open, the new windows that are going to be placed in front of your life because your willingness to leave your old stuff there. There's some exits that we all have to take, but also we have to beat some of the odds that we've put on ourselves and that others have put on us as well. Some things people put on us because of their lack of confidence in themselves. And because they see different things inside of us, they would rather put us down instead of raising us up. Sad reality, but it's true. And sometimes we're the culprit of that as well. Sometimes we downplay others. And honestly, I've done that myself. And we all have done it. So all this whole notion of I'm going to let my haters be my motivators, stop that. Because when you're done being motivated off the hate, then what do you have? What do you have after that? Defeat has a sound. Defeat does have a sound. It's not always verbal, but body language means everything and proves a whole lot. My mom had every reason to quit with being a single mother and having 2 kids in an apartment and trying to hold it together. I've seen different times where my mom was absolutely exhausted, trying to provide for us on her own. And at the same time, still trying to make sure she was mentally right. Self-doubting, etc., etc. I saw some of that growing up. And then, finally getting married to my stepdad. But then I still have my own different battles that I had within myself. Battles that I had to face, battles that I wasn't sure I had to face, I wasn't aware of, etc. Finally having my father come into my life at 21, still having to beat those odds as well. Those odds in your head where you're like, I'm a misfit. I'm not meant to be here. I have no purpose. I'm just existing in life. But no, that's not it. Beat the odds, conquer the odds, and have a desire to not keep yourself in the same way that you have been. So if you're in a spot now where you're like, man, I can't get out of this mentally, I'm just stuck here. Mentally, I have no drive, no determination to do nothing better with my life. Listen, y'all, this is the reset button. This is the master reset button right now for your life. Shift your mindset, shift your perception, change your lens, because if God has greater thoughts for you, then I do too. And we all can make it day by day. We can live this life and that more abundantly if we just have these steps along the way. All right? Have a desire, which is a determination to execute, to seek after more. Have an initiative. Have a resolve to evolve into being the man or woman that you are put on this earth to be. Go out, dominate whatever goals, whatever dreams that you have for your life, and let the chips fall